Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just going to give you a brief update before the weekend's storm of awesome that is proposed. As you may or may not know, there has recently been a live stream by the development team at Uber. If you haven't seen it, I will link it in the description. I thoroughly recommend it. They give you a lot of information. But if you just want the bare bones of some of the proposed updates that are going to be being implemented over the course of the next few weeks or so, then just stick around, and I'd appreciate that anyway. So, anyway, right, beginning. I'll leave probably one of the best ones till last, and I'll just skip my top bullet point here and go right on to the fact that they say that metal sites they are very close to finishing that, meaning that they're very close to actually getting to the point where you have to build your metal extractors on your metal sites, and they say that'll be out in a build roughly between in the next week to 10 days. So that's something to look forward to. So folks, if you are there sort of spamming out your metal everywhere you can, start getting used to building on those sites because it is coming. So be prepared for it. Next up, they say that Planet Editor is on its way. It has been sidetracked slightly because of other stuff they've been doing, because they've been trying to get the operating systems for Mac and Linux sorted as a priority, along with Windows 32 and all of that stuff, but they say that is on its way. They say that recon improvements are also being developed. Talking about, in the stream, some people mentioned ways to travel between planets, moons, and other things like that. And the devs sort of suggested things like unit cannons, landers, teleporters, but they did say that these would all be energy costly in terms of actually exhibiting those in your base. And they say that the focus is more on what happens on the planetary objects rather than what happens between them. So of course they say that space travel, like in real life, is incredibly expensive, so it shall be on these planets. Next up, they say, in response to people asking about full water maps for good naval combat, they say that there are no full water maps at the moment because of balance tech issues, and they say that it's very difficult to get naval correct at the moment. Again, they do have a lot on their plate, so you know, I think what we've got at the moment is sufficient enough without having to worry about full water maps. They say that they have been experimenting with Minimaps, various different forms. They haven't gone into a great amount of detail as to what these take in terms of their forms, but you know, they say they have considered those, so that's a possibility. Furthermore, those talking about recently in one of my videos, I've been sort of, you know, comments have been about neat bases and sort of grids and lining everything up on these sort of planetary axes and things, and they do say that there is a snap to grid buildings option being worked on at the moment, and they say that'll come out when it's ready soonish. So they say for those wanting to make nice bases, that is on its way somewhere along the pipeline, but they say they have got that. So that's all good. If I got this right, I think they mentioned having over 100 units. This isn't unit cap, this is different types of units you can build, and that's taking into account all the different sort of regions and vectors of combat that you can have. For instance, you have your land combat, you have your vehicle and bots in that respect, you even have your naval, but then of course you have your air, your orbital, your interorbital, etc, 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 and of course all of that is going to require different sorts of units. So they say that they have got those planned, but again, that's a way off yet. Also, before I get to my final big point, they say metal and spawn balancing. Like in the original Supreme Commander, you'd get sort of your 4 mass deposits. While they have toyed with the idea, they say, of making these form, you know, metal sites or a standard number of metal sites in your spawn, they have also toyed with the idea of sort of giving an element of strategy to your spawn choice. So, for instance, you know, do you want to build a spawn where it's more defensible, or do you want one which has more resources but is, you know, a lot more open to attack? Or is there one that you can nab which has a good combination of the two, and all of this sort of interplays? But they say, you know, they have considered that. They say not too long before we can get to the moon. And intermoon stuff is being tricky, and that's the thing that's holding them up. So in other words, the you know, the travelling between them is the tricky bit. They've got the support for building stuff on the different objects, because, you know, we can build stuff on the planet, so we can build stuff on the moon, so that's not a problem. It's getting between them that's the issue apparently at the moment. Okay, so the big one, folks, as you'll see in the live stream, at the moment you have 4 players in a free-for-all. This weekend they will be releasing support for 3 army games, up to 10 player maximum, they say, with these. Now let me explain the difference between teams and armies. They wanted to get this quite clear across in the live stream. Teams are what they said would be, you know, different people using different colours and different colour, you know, different coloured teams. So for instance, you'd have Team 1 might have purple, yellow and blue. Team 2 might have red, green and orange. That's not what these are. These are armies. These are a bunch of commanders using the same colour. So in other words, people can control all of this stuff. As I say, you'd each be working on your own enclave, but if you saw that something could be being done over an idle fabricator or something, you'd go and do it and all of this stuff. So it adds that extra element of strategy, which is brilliant. So in other words, in the live stream, what you'll see if you go and watch it, which is linked in the description, you'll see a blue/purple team with 3 commanders, a white team with 3 commanders, and a black team with 3 commanders, all duking it out on a sort of medium-sized planet, and they spawn really close to each other, and you can see how that actually affects the gameplay. They say they've capped it at 10 at the moment because of CPU demand and all of that stuff, but that's okay, because that means I can get some good casting in for you guys on that. I can occupy that and sort of instantly pop my commander into oblivion and get some good casting done for you. Other than that, that is pretty much the main thing at the moment. Although they did say with the 3v3v3 business, you will have to do that from the Ubernet games and create game function. You won't be able to get it in with by just going into the quick match. You'd have to do the create a game and then do the tick boxes up here and all of this business for, you know, team armies, partner up, build and share, control of one army and economy and battle others. That's pretty much what they mean there. Other than that, folks, that is the main points of the stream. If you want further details and even the gameplay, do follow the link in the description. It is there. It is for you guys. It is absolutely brilliant. I highly recommend it. This is me going to be signing off until Sunday afternoon, evening, regrettably, but the moment I get back I will be trying to do a cast. On the news of casting, I might even be able to get some collaborative casting in with some other people from the Ubernet forums on some really high-end games in alpha gameplay, so do stick around for those as well. Other than that, again, thanks for watching, stick around for more coming very, very soon, and have a nice day.